What's going on, guys? Cole here with Neiman Industries, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about how to set up your kit. So I want to try and make this like the most in-depth video of this, not just how to set up my kit, but how to set up kit in general for whatever you're setting it up for, whether you're a civilian just trying to make a home defense kit or what have you, or if you're in the military and maybe you're relatively new or you're new to a new position and you're trying to figure out how you should set up your kit for this new role that you're in. So before I start going through my kit, there's some things that we have to lay out to consider. Okay, so if these things apply to you, then consider them. If they don't, then don't. But I'm going to be talking from more of a military perspective, but some of these things may still apply to you if you're just a civilian trying to set up a home defense kit. So first off, if you're in the military, you have to consider SOPs. So for example, where your IFAC is. Every unit that I've been in, they all have an IFAC SOP on where your med kit is going to be located. If you're going to have an external tourniquet located centrally on your body or whatever. And then after that, you have to go to your minimum loadout. So as a rifleman, for example, in the Army and the infantry, a rifleman's loadout is 7 M4 magazines, so 210 rounds. Now for a saw gunner, when I was a saw gunner, it was 800 to 1,000 rounds. And for a 240 gunner, it was 1,000 rounds. And depending on if you had an assistant gunner or an ammo bearer, however much of that was dispersed amongst them, that's on you to create those own SOPs. But we're not talking about machine gunners kits. Mine is based around an AR-15, M4, because that's what I use at work. I have ARs at home, and that's what I go and shoot with. So yeah, so you gotta consider those two things: SOPs, your minimum loadouts as far as ammunition, and then you have to consider all of your other things that you're gonna have to carry. So if that's it, night vision, compass, map markers, protractor, like land nav stuff, just in general. Any other SI or BII that you have to carry, you want to be considerate of all of that stuff. And then the other special equipment: smoke grenades, star clusters. Are you running chems on your kit? You can really get into the weeds on a lot of this stuff, but you need to consider those things first before you start setting your kit up. You don't want to set it up for how you think it's going to work and not having considered those things, and then now you realize that you need a lot more storage space than what you thought you would. Because the minimalist kit is very popular and kind of trendy in fringe right now because that's what all the operators are running. But for a more conventional infantryman, that's not going to work for you. You have to carry too much stuff. Water is another big thing that you need to consider. So we're going to touch on all of those things in setting this kit up. But another thing that you need to consider is if you can't fit all of those things on a plate carrier or a chest rig, consider using supplementary means of carrying your gear, like a belt. So we'll kind of hit on my plate carrier and on my belt, but just understand that what you carry on your chest, whether it's a plate carrier or a chest rig, is typically going to be your primary means of carrying equipment. It's going to be your primary load-bearing equipment, and then you can supplement with a belt, like I do. Right now I'm a team leader in the Army, so I like to have an excessive amount of storage space, but I also need to be able to carry all of my magazines on me in one way or another, because I still have an M4. Rifleman's loadout is still 210 rounds. I typically don't get 7 magazines. I typically get 4 or 5. Because I don't need them. As a team leader, you shouldn't be shooting as much as your guys are. You should be controlling your element in the battlefield, right? So I typically don't get that many mags, and that's fine. I have plenty of other stuff that I have to carry with me that takes up all that space anyways, but I still maintain a way to carry that much ammunition if I need to. So we'll start getting into it. So this is my plate carrier here. It's a Crye Precision JPC 2.0. If it seems like it's not, it's because I have these covers covering up the shoulder straps, whatever you want to call it, that laser cut material. And that's just to kind of keep it from appearing obviously like a Crye JPC. It's obviously not a standard issue plate carrier, but that just helps keep it a little bit more low profile that it's an aftermarket non-issue plate carrier. So like I said before, my SOP for medical equipment is my back left on my cummerbund. So I have it all the way back and all the way left. I don't need to reach it. It's for people to treat me with, not for me to treat myself with. But on that note, on my belt, I do have a second IFAC that I can treat myself. I can reach it a lot more easily. So we'll just go from the far left all the way around. And it kind of makes sense as well. So from the back left, we have the IFAC, and then coming up to front left and into the center. This is an emitter or radio pouch, and it can also double as a double magazine pouch for an AR or an M4 or what have you. And I run that here because I want my push to talk and all of my cables and everything to be on my non-dominant side. I don't want that to be on my dominant side. I'm right-handed. So I don't want that all in my face over here. I don't want all the excess over here. I want to be able to shoulder my weapon and do everything I need to do in my workspace on this side with no extra obstructions. So I put all of my radio stuff on my left side. But like I said, for whatever reason, if I don't have a radio, cool, I can throw another 2 mags in there. I can throw a bottle of water in there or whatever. Coming around to the front, I have 3 mags across the front, pretty standard. But the reason that I want to hit on magazine placement, in my opinion, especially if you're not running a radio, your magazine should be oriented from center to your non-dominant hand. That's my left hand. This is the hand that I'm going to be reloading with primarily. So, gun will be in this hand and I'll be doing all of my reloads with this hand. So I don't want them to be all the way over here because it doesn't make any sense for me to be reaching under my arm to conduct a reload. I'm going to be starting from this side and working this way. And I have one on my belt. So my belt is actually my first mag that I would reload with, and then I would work here and here and here, so on and so forth. In the front, I have kind of an admin pouch where right now I just have this like quarterback armband that I can throw frequencies for my radio. I can throw, call for fire cards, 9-line medevac cards, stuff like that. I've got some maps, got some notebooks, extra, like an excessive amount of notebooks, extra pens, pencils, map markers, all that kind of stuff is right there. I'm going to go straight up and talk about this pouch right here. I actually run the Axl Advanced zipper insert for the admin pouch, and I have 2 protractors in here. That's just where I keep those. This, by the way, is the Haley Strategic micro fight or micro chest rig, whatever you want to call it. I do keep a multi-tool in this pistol pouch right here because I feel like, one, every machine gunner should have a multi-tool on them at all times, any quality machine gunner and any team leader, so that if your saw gunner or one of your dudes doesn't know how to fix a problem, you can go fix it. So I feel like that's pretty essential. Moving over to the right, I'm running a Spiritus Systems Justa pouch, which is basically an admin pouch with a way to throw inserts in the back of it. So I do have an extra magazine right here. And this is just for excess miscellaneous stuff. Like right now, all I have in here is a headlamp, but that's really just for extra mission equipment. And then on the far back right, I have another Spiritus Systems general purpose pouch. I keep a laser rangefinder in here, and then I just have other miscellaneous stuff, bipod, or not a bipod, a foregrip that I still need to put on my work gun, extra earplugs, stuff like that. So that is pretty much the front of mine. I'll hit on this piece real quick here. So with the radio pouch being right here, I run a push to talk right here with the cable feeding straight down into it. And then I also run an antenna relocator kit that runs up through the shoulder strap and runs around the back, and it feeds into the molly. And I have this antenna right here. And it's just so I don't have to have an antenna sticking up in my face, like rubber banded to my shoulder strap or anything. It's completely out of my face. It does not hit my helmet. It looks like it would, but it doesn't. And yeah, so, you know, that just allows me to, but you know, I run Peltor Contact 5, so I don't have to be holding a hand mic up to my face. I don't have to have one of the pork chop hand mics that is like loud as shit and it compromises your noise and your noise discipline in the middle of the night. You know, I run a push to talk here, so I just have a down lead from my headset that plugs in here, and then I can just, you know, basically hands free hit this button and talk on my headset. So great to have. But on the back here, I have two Spiritus Systems GP pouches, and I have the Spiritus Systems flag bungee. To hit on the flag bungee real quick, this is a way for me to carry an American flag, which is one, fucking cool, and two, I don't always run a flag in here. Okay, sometimes if the weather is looking kind of shitty, I will roll up a wet weather top or a poncho or something, and I can stuff that in here, just take the flag out and shove my wet weather gear in here so that it's pretty easily accessible. When it comes to these pouches, okay, you don't need to have pouches on your back plate, okay? You have to understand the purpose of these, and if you can justify it and it fits under your ruck and it's not uncomfortable, then by all means run these. But you have to understand these pouches are not for you, the end user, to get into. They're not for you to access. They're for your team to access. So my thought in having this, you know, first of all, if I'm not running anything in them, they collapse down and it's basically like they're not even there. But if we do need them, it's great to have for SSE, so sensitive site exploitation. So if we're searching bodies and we find some maps, we find some notebooks and stuff, just a quick, easy place to throw them, because a lot of times guys are like starting to shove them into rucksacks and whatever. Just a quick, easy place to throw SSE stuff. Also, I usually reserve the top one for smoke grenades, stuff like that. So just extra team equipment. This is what that's for. Team equipment, SSE, stuff like that. And yeah, that's how I justify running these. I also don't have anything else to put them on as far as kit, so I don't want to just have them sitting around in my room, so I threw them on my back plate. But that is pretty much it for the plate carrier. You know, everything has a purpose. Everything makes sense. And I've been working for almost 10 years trying to figure out how to set up a kit perfectly for me, to my preferences. And this is pretty much it. No matter what plate carrier I'm going to get, it's going to be set up similar to this. And you can do this with your standard issue pouches and plate carrier and all that stuff. You don't need all this high-end aftermarket stuff. You can set this up very similar to this with your standard issue stuff. So I don't want people to feel like they have to go buy money, or go spend money to buy stuff like this, okay? This is just, you know, I love this job. I'm going to do this job for another 20 years probably. I want to get something that's quality that's going to last me, and I felt like it was a justifiable investment. So there it is, the JPC 2.0. Now, hopping into my belt setup, first off, I'm going to take this out. Just going to set that off to the side. So with the belt setup, like I said earlier, a belt, you know, if you are being issued a pistol and you have to run a pistol, you're probably going to be issued a holster to go with it that you can probably just throw on your regular duty belt. However, I also want to be able to carry my mags. I want to be able to carry an extra rifle mag as well as my pistol mag pouches. I want to be able to have a dump pouch. You know, there's just things that work well on a belt that you can't really run as effectively on a plate carrier. So I'll just go around this and talk about everything that I have on here. First off, this is a GBRS Assaulter's belt. This is the second model that they came out with, and this thing is freaking awesome. I won't dive too deep into it, but it's expensive, but I'm a fanboy. I have a GBRS hoodie on right now, but everything that these guys make and do is awesome. So you can trust the quality on that. It's phenomenal. So first thing to the left is, right now I just have 2 chem lights left on this little chem bundle, just with an S-beaner, and that's just for various means of marking. Okay. Then we have 2 pistol mag pouches. These are my own personal pistol mags, and that's my own personal SIG. But you know, we've moved over to SIG M17s in the Army. I just so happen to have one. I actually got them like before we were issued them, but I already had that one, so I already had extra mags and stuff, so it works. These are S-Tac Kiwi mag pouches. The same with the AR mag. You can't go wrong with an S-Tac Kiwi mag. These things are awesome. Kydex retention, and I've been using these things for years. They're awesome. Moving around, have Blue Force gear, kind of this 10-speed elastic material. This can be used as another pistol mag pouch. I can use it for a flashlight. I can use it for a multi-tool, whatever. I don't have anything in there right now, but it's not that big of a deal because it slims down and it's out of the way. Then right here we have this dump pouch, another Blue Force gear, like 10-speed elastic material with a little pull tab so that I can just pull that out, and it's pretty big, but you see it balls up really nice and neat, and it's out of the way. Here we have my other Spiritus Systems Justa pouch. This is my med pouch. It sits pretty much directly on my back. So it's a lot easier for me to reach that just by reaching right here than it is to reach this pouch that's like right here. So this is more for self-aid than for buddy aid. Then we have a carabiner here, another S carabiner, a bigger one. And this is more for this pouch, which is typically what I throw my nods into. Now my nods have a piece of 550 cord as a tie down, so that when I throw them in this pouch, they're getting tied down and clipped into this S-beaner here. And then I have another S-beaner on my helmet, so when I take them out of this pouch, I unhook it from this S-beaner and I hook it to my helmet. But typically this pouch here, this is a Crye Precision general purpose pouch. There's nothing in the main compartment. In the front compartment, there's a VS17 panel. Can't ever go wrong with having enough VS17 panels. Just more methods of marking. You can never have too many. But this is another good quality option for a general purpose pouch. And moving around here, we have my holster for my SIG. And this is a SIG M17 with a Surefire X300. And I run a leg strap on it because it helps. I never ran a leg strap until about 6 months ago, and I actually really enjoy having the thing on there. But this is a 4-bros holster. It is built to accept the QLS fork, so they can do that, which is awesome. So, you know, I also have a Safariland for my Glock, but right now, because we're using SIGs at work, I went ahead and threw this on there, and it's just really, really nice. Passive retention, not active retention like the Safarilands, but as far as high quality Kydex holsters, you can't go wrong with a 4Brothers holster, so check them out if you haven't. But that is pretty much it. You know, this is my complete gear setup. So everything has a purpose, everything makes sense, everything works well for me, and I use this and train with it on my own time, all the time. And I continue to refine it. You know, your gear should be a piece of your kit that you continue to refine. And even 10 years into this, I'm still refining it, making small changes. More or less, it's completely set up the way that it's going to be, but still, there are small changes that get made over time as a new product comes out, or I just want to try something a little bit different, then I still do that. But you know, this right here is the most perfect my gear has ever been set up for me since I've been in the Army, and it just continues to get more and more perfect as I dial it in and try different things. But yeah, So if you guys have any questions about any brands, I'm pretty sure I hit all the brands and all the pouches, specifically what they were, all the products. If you have any questions about any of that stuff, just let me know in the comments below. If you have any other questions about kit setup and how to set stuff up, and what my recommendations are, feel free to ask in the comment section below. If you liked the video or you liked any of the brands that I was talking about, drop a like, subscribe, all that stuff. These are my favorite videos to make, this kind of gear setup stuff. And I haven't made one in quite a long time, but I wanted to make one that was really in-depth and thorough. And really, you guys just have to make it make sense. You know, I've seen a lot of guys, even in the Army, that run big, bulky GP pouches on their front, and then they have like 2 mags on either side on their cummerbund. And it doesn't make sense for your job. And, you know, you guys should obsess about this stuff. You know, a lot of people get made fun of for being a gear queer or whatever, being super into gear, but, you know, like, sorry for language, but fuck that mentality. You know, take your fucking job serious. Take this stuff, the small details, obsess over the small details. If you're in a job that requires you to wear something like this, the job deserves that level of obsession. So take it seriously, obsess over the details, get this shit perfect for you, and don't be ashamed of taking it seriously, and have fun with it. It's fun. It's more of a hobby now for me than anything, because like I said, if a new product comes out, I want to buy it and try it out. But I don't need anything else, but I just enjoy it. So, you know, who cares? So, you know, if you guys like the video, if you want more content like this, like I said earlier, subscribe, comment, like, all that good jazz, and check out namingindustries.com. And yeah, we got a lot of good stuff coming here in 2022, so stick around and see what we got coming out. Thanks for watching, guys.